But not to worry. Purcell Pavilion is sold out. It always is when the women Huskies come to South Bend to play the Fighting Irish. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Don Crickey. The record 90-game win streak of the UConn women may be over, but the basketball legacy is ongoing. The records are phenomenal. They've won 51 straight games in Big East play. It's been 18 years since they've lost 2 road games in a row. They are still a great team. And I'm joined by one of the great players of UConn, Rebecca Lobo, who led them to their first national championship back in '95. Rebecca, the stars keep coming to UConn, and now there's a superstar here.
Yeah, Maya Moore, she's a 2-time National Player of the Year. She's the best in the women's game at the pure jump shot. When she sprints, catch, and elevates, there's no one who can defend her. She is a terrific defender herself, and one-on-one, you can't guard her. You have to send multiple defenders to her.
The nationally ranked Notre Dame women are the best shooting team in the country, over 50% as a team. They have won 8 straight games. They get a lot of points out of their starting guards.
Yeah, it all starts with their backcourt, and that starts with Skylar Diggins. She was a 2-guard last year, has been moved to the point guard spot, but she is still a dynamic scorer. And then her backcourt mate is Natalie Novosel, a much improved three-point shooter. She is terrific taking it to the basket and finishing. They are Notre Dame's top 2 scorers, and they will both be crucial for the Irish today.
And now, Rebecca, let's take a look at the AT&T in-game analysis.
Well, first, you have to get physical. How this game is called will be important. To beat Connecticut, you need to be physical and move them around. Secondly, turnovers. Both of these teams thrive off of points and transition. And finally, is it going to be less or more? For Connecticut to be successful, Maya Moore has to get a lot of touches. Notre Dame will do what they can to limit those touches today.
So we are ready to play at Notre Dame. The Huskies and the Irish. Lineups and the tip-off are next. CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by Sears. It's your turn now to save at Sears. Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Mercedes-Benz, located on the web at mbusa.com. Sold out. Purcell Pavilion. The UConn Huskies now 13-1 after that loss to Stanford a week ago. The Irish come in 13-3, 3 losses to ranked teams. The streak of Connecticut, though, lives on. The streak by the numbers, overwhelming what they did. Almost 1,000 days between losses. 31 ranked opponents. And the average margin of victory over 33 points a game. And over that span of time, Facebook went from 67 million to more than 600 million. And there's the man who authored it all, the head coach Gino Auriemma. In his 26th season as head coach of the Huskies, 7 national championships, 11 Final Fours. His starting lineup includes a terrific freshman point guard in Bria Hartley, Maya Moore, the reigning player of the year, and a freshman center in Stephanie Dolson. The Fighting Irish, they'll start Skylar Diggins, their best player, sophomore guard from South Bend. Natalie Novosel also has become a prolific scorer. And up front, the co-captain, Brecka Brzezinski, she does the rebounding. And Devereaux Peters is the energizer in this starting 5. And the head coach in his 24th season at Notre Dame is Muffet McGraw. She had a national championship team for the Irish back in '01. She has been one of the greatest coaches Notre Dame's ever had in any sport. There's the officials, Dee Kantner, Cameron Inouye, and Jesse Dickinson. Irish in white, Huskies in the dark blue, and we're ready to go at Notre Dame. Notre Dame has won 8 straight, but the Huskies have beaten the Irish the last 9 times they played.
Connecticut picking up in a man-to-man defense, but look for them to play a little bit more zone than people are accustomed to. Notre Dame will be playing all different kinds of trapping, full court, three-quarter court, half-court defenses.
Well, Gino Auriemma, we asked him any concerns about Notre Dame. He said, yeah, guarding them. They can really score everybody they put out there, but here's the steal and the break for the Huskies. A lot of motion. Gino Auriemma told us last night, it was interesting, Rebecca, he said, you know, we're going to get back down to pressing all the time and maybe playing a lot of zone.
Yeah, and I think of that because he has an inexperienced team, so he wants to make the other team take time off the clock by putting on the full court pressure and then making the other team figure out what they want to do offensively.
Notre Dame doesn't box out. UConn gets 3 chances, but the Irish come away with the ball and still no points.
Both these teams will be looking for early offense, pushing the ball down the floor, getting into their secondary break.
They talk, Rebecca, about you can't try to play UConn's game and run with them. You got to pace it, get shots. You have to hit a high percentage to have a chance against UConn.
But this is a Notre Dame team that wants to be up-tempo. They will look to push the ball in transition, and Natalie Novosel is just so good at going to the basket, able to draw the foul on Tiffany Hayes.
It's the first foul of the game, so the Irish inbound the ball. And another whistle stops play.
And that's huge for Connecticut. Tiffany Hayes picking up her second foul. She is the secondary scorer. Maya Moore is the big-time scorer for Connecticut, but they need Tiffany Hayes to score.
So 2 in a hurry against Tiffany Hayes. Tiffany said after the Stanford loss, whoever we play next is going to get it. It was Villanova who got it the other night, lost by 46 to the Huskies.
Now it's going to be interesting to watch what Notre Dame does offensively. Tiffany Hayes staying in the ballgame with those 2 fouls. Will they go right at her? Their next offensive possession, try to pick up a third.
Well, Maya Moore gets the foul call, and that sends Notre Dame to the free throw line. Devereaux Peters from Chicago. She's a senior, but has had limited playing time, has undergone 3 knee surgeries, but they all talk about we're a different team when she's in the lineup.
Oh, because she's an athletic, long post player. It's not only they're a different team offensively, they're a different team defensively because she can change shots, she can block shots. You see Notre Dame picking up in the full court pressure. Devereaux Peters at the top of that.
Good defense by Brzezinski, slaps the ball away.
And we said at the top of the show, Don, it was going to be important to see how this game was called, especially because Connecticut has that short bench, and we've seen some early fouls called on the Huskies here.
Huskies very physical. Gino Auriemma told us, he said, Stanford beat us up. They not only won the game, but they beat us up. It's usually us that does the beating up, but they beat us up. Connecticut very physical today, but in early foul trouble. 14 fouls against the Huskies. One thing about Connecticut that doesn't ever change is they play great defense. Diggins drives, left-hand score, and the Irish go up 4-0. We're going to run out of players in this game.
What Skylar Diggins does so well is take the ball to the basket. The lefty goes in. She can finish with the floater. She's a good pull-up jump shooter as well. And just a nice crossover. The freshman Bria Hartley can't stay between Diggins and the basket. And on the other end, one of the things Tiffany Hayes does better than most players in the country, she's got a terrific quick first step, can get to the basket and get to the free throw line.
Hayes is a very good free throw shooter, over 81%. And he gets 1 of 2. Brzezinski rebounds. 5 fouls called already in the game, 4 on UConn. Diggins goes through everybody. She was the Gatorade National Athlete of the Year, not just the basketball player of the year as a senior at nearby Washington High School. Kelly Ferris driving hard to the basket. And the call's going to go on Brzezinski, a blocking foul.
Kelly Ferris, not a great three-point shooter, but she needs to be a threat from out there, and gives a little shot fake and takes it to the basket.
I think, Rebecca, she's the most underrated player in the country, Kelly Ferris.
She's a terrific athlete, and she's definitely the glue player for Connecticut. She's the one who's going to dive on the floor for loose balls, make all the hustle plays.
A career winner at Heritage High School outside Indianapolis. She led her team to 4 straight Indiana State championships.
Getting a chance today to play in front of a lot of family and friends, the ones brave enough to make the drive in the snowstorm.
Well, it's sold out there. It looks like they're just about all here. Snow emergency in northern Indiana. Ferris at the line, makes it a 4-3 game Notre Dame, and here's the press by UConn. And the steal, beautifully done by the Huskies. Bria Hartley, the freshman guard. In and out. Rebound to Peters. And they're going to go at it for 40 minutes. This is going to be a great game. And right now, Peters puts it back up. Rebound knocked around. Hartley comes away with it. And UConn working hard, keeps the ball. This is Tiffany Hayes.
Remember, this is a Big East contest. These teams know each other so well. It's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a close game.
Great cut. Open look. Hartley puts it up and down, and UConn takes the lead for the first time.
Connecticut again picking up in full court pressure. This isn't a team that in the past has used the full court pressure all that much.
Hey, that ball's drawing a crowd today. Notre Dame gets the ball inside and takes back the lead.
Maya Moore, one thing she does so well is posts up on the block. She's able to catch a great pass. 3 defenders around her, still able to finish.
Ball knocked out of bounds by Diggins. So the Huskies, no, it's going to come down to Notre Dame. Ochoa, he's a very good freshman player for Notre Dame, will inbound the ball. She's from Canada, 18 years old, and she's playing on the Canadian national team, the senior team. Drive to the rack. Fight for the ball. Foul on Connecticut.
Devereaux Peters just brings an added energy when she is healthy to this Notre Dame team. Can get on the offensive glass, the defensive glass. It's so good to see her back healthy playing for the Irish.
And Rebecca Stephanie Dolson just got her second foul. 5 team fouls now on the Huskies.
And that can be a big concern for Connecticut because, as we've mentioned, they don't have a deep bench. Notre Dame has a much deeper bench than Connecticut does. At the post position for Connecticut, you might see Samari Walker or Heather Buck come in, but that's what they've got.
Devereaux Peters gets them both, and the Irish again lead by a point. UConn with 9 straight wins over Notre Dame. Out to the high post. Oriema wants his team to drive the basket more, get to the free throw line. That's what he wants more out of Maya Moore. Crashing the boards. Great play by UConn. They get it back. But they bounce it down the baseline of the court.
I thought Tiffany Hayes had to be careful because she went charging in there, could have easily gotten an over-the-back call on that offensive rebound attempt.
Well, when you talk to the Connecticut women, they talk about it wasn't just getting beaten by Stanford a week ago. It was how they got beat. Said Stanford women took it to us.
Yeah, they thought they needed to be much more aggressive.
Devereaux Peters with a good inside look. Irish by 3. Almost stolen by the Irish. Peters has 5 for Notre Dame. Again, it rims out. The freshman Ochoa rebounds. Diggins who can go. Leading the break, 3-on-3, dish. Devereaux Peters goes to the line, another foul on Connecticut. With the dish to Peters, 15:39 to play in the half, the Irish by 3. At Notre Dame, the Irish lead the Connecticut Huskies by 3. Notre Dame 13-3 on the year. 3 losses to ranked teams.
Notre Dame's much improved team because of playing against teams like UCLA, Kentucky, and Baylor. All games Notre Dame was in except for the Baylor game a little bit, but they are a much improved team. Remember, this is a Notre Dame team that is very young, and as the season goes on, they're going to get much better. One of their senior leaders is Devereaux Peters, and she's come out great today so far. 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 on the offensive side. Muffet McGraw has to be really pleased with the way Peters is playing so far.
And she's had a great start. Connecticut a slow start. Huskies is shooting 29%, 0 for 3 on 3-pointers. Have turned it over twice. Devereaux Peters from Fenwick High School in Chicago, school that produced one of Notre Dame's 7 Heisman Trophy winners, John Latner. So the Irish now extend to their biggest lead, 12-7.
Lauren Dixon in the game for Connecticut now at the point guard spot. She brings a little bit of extra speed and another ball handler to go against the Notre Dame pressure.
Irish double Moore. She's having a hard time getting looks. In the back line, Lauren Dixon now working for Connecticut. Partially deflected shot. Let's see what this call is.
They reset the shot clock accidentally. That should not be a reset. They're going to have to go back and figure out how many seconds should be on the shot clock.
UConn, Rebecca, not doing well from the three-point arc. They're 0 for 4 so far.
Good defense by Skylar Diggins, getting her hand on the basketball. You know Tiffany Hayes is going to be the one to try to launch it from outside the three-point line. 1 second, that is enough time to get a quick catch and shoot.
It's on the way, good look. Missed it all.
And the last possession defensively, Notre Dame taking a page out of Stanford's defensive playbook in terms of double-teaming Maya Moore, being very physical with her. That's how one of the ways Stanford was able to beat this Connecticut team, taking Maya Moore out of the game offensively.
Yeah, the Cardinal was really physical with her. She got bumped most of the game. Here is Diggins pulling up. A nice-looking left-hander by this former first-team high school All-American, one of the biggest recruits Notre Dame's ever had. Now a great drive to the basket by the Huskies.
Tiffany Hayes, an energy player, and a nice steal and a finish. And go back to Skylar Diggins. Last year, Notre Dame played Connecticut 3 times. Skylar was a freshman. She was 8 for 38 against the Huskies. She has a totally different demeanor coming into this game. She looks poised. She looks confident. She's doing a much better job offensively in terms of finishing.
Muffet McGraw, the Notre Dame coach, told her team, you've got to relax and play. Long ball, good look by Novosel, can't get it down. Irish get a third chance at it and make it work.
Notre Dame this year is a very good offensive rebounding team. Terrific job by Peters keeping the ball alive. Then Chanwa with the finish.
Chanwa getting the bucket inside on the third try, and the Irish have extended to a 7-point lead. Great look inside and a good foul by Notre Dame, stopping a sure thing. See why Hawaii Five-0 is the People's Choice Award winner for favorite new TV drama. Hawaii Five-0 Monday, only CBS. Foul on Devereaux Peters, her first. And at the line is Samari Walker.
You look at the lineup that's in the ball game right now for Connecticut. The only player who got significant amount of minutes last year, we see Maya Moore on the bench, is Tiffany Hayes. Well, right now, in a hostile environment, Notre Dame's making their run. How's Connecticut going to respond? Nice finish by Samari Walker, getting the ball inside now to the free throw line. But how is this Connecticut team going to handle this environment, handle being down in this environment?
Walker gets them both. She's a freshman. And that's news. Maya Moore on the bench early.
Sometimes Coach Royama likes to do that with his players. Give them a chance not only to get a rest, but see how things are going out on the floor. Give them a better understanding when they get back in the game.
Diggins, a long launch. Fight for the rebound off UConn. Tiffany Hayes, the last to touch it, so the Irish will inbound the ball. Notre Dame 13-3 overall. The Huskies are 13-1, unbeaten in the conference play. Irish 2-1 in the conference. Now McBride's in the game. Here's the sophomore Diggins. The ball will be in her hands most of the time. She really quarterbacks the team. It's off the hands of the freshman, Chanwa, and back over to the Huskies. So ready to inbound the ball now is Samari Walker. Notre Dame 3 turnovers, UConn 2. Wow, held ball. Possession arrow to the Huskies.
That's a situation with a young post player getting the ball in the paint. If Heather Buck forget the dribble. Just get the basketball, go right up at the basket, try to get fouled and finish.
Tied up. Here's a great drive and a foul that'll send Kelly Ferris to the free throw line, a sophomore coming off a 12 rebound game, the best of her career when UConn handily defeated Villanova the last time out.
We mentioned she's just a player who kind of mixes it up and does a little bit of everything. She was a bright spot for Connecticut in that Stanford game. The leading scorer was 17 points. Only a sophomore. Her minutes have increased significantly this season. She's going to be a big, important player for Connecticut.
And now the biggest, the tallest UConn player, Stephanie Dolson, a freshman from Port Jervis, New York, is back in the game.
It's interesting to see Maya Moore spending a decent amount of time on the bench. And as I mentioned before, Coach Oyama feels like you need to sit and watch, that you're not doing exactly what he wants you to do. He will put his players on the bench and hope that they respond when they go back in the game.
Well, sometimes you get a good look at what's going on. Oh, wait a minute. Here now is a steal by Diggins. Mallory on time. Irish by 6. Ferris, spinning move to the basket, and she'll shoot again from the line.
We just see what this game means to these players. They're scrappy, they're all over the place, and that's what Mallory does. She's a terrific three-point shooter for the Irish, and the emotion, the excitement. And this is a Notre Dame team last year, and a couple of the games I saw them play against Connecticut, they didn't look like a team that believed they could beat Connecticut. Well, that's not the case here today. Much more confident team, and they come in enjoying themselves and playing really well.
And also playing really well is Kelly Ferris at the free throw line. She scored 5 so far. He gets them both again. So with 12:47 to play in the half, Notre Dame, which did have a 7-point lead, now up by 4. And here's the UConn press. Semi-press. Irish looking to get in the lane and kick it out.
Notre Dame having absolutely no difficulty breaking that press, not even taking much time to get into the front court.
Three-pointer by Mallory is off. Here comes Lauren Dixon, who can play fast. Back cut works perfectly. And the Huskies are down by 2.
With a defense that's going to come out and deny like Notre Dame does, there's an opportunity for the back cut. Connecticut cleared the right side of the floor except for Tiffany Hayes, gave her plenty of room to go back door to the basket.
Again, Notre Dame gets it down low. No foul. It's Shanwa fighting for the ball. It'll be inbounds to Notre Dame. But first, a timeout. So they're going at it hard, just like we like it, as the Irish holding to a 2-point lead. Thank you, Russ. Back to the action at Notre Dame. The Irish holding a 2-point lead over Connecticut. 11:42 to play in the first half. Don Trickey with Rebecca Lobo. And the Huskies with the ball. Down low to their big freshman center, and she'll shoot 2. Stephanie Dolson goes to the free throw line out of Minnesink High School in Port Jervis, New York.
Nice high-low pass from Samari Walker to her fellow freshman Stephanie Dolson. But the story right now for Connecticut, not necessarily what's on the court, but what's on the bench, and that's Maya Moore. She only has 1 foul. She is not injured. When Coach Oyama gets really upset with some of his players, he sits them down. And you know, after the Stanford game, the question with Maya Moore is she was getting bodied a lot, and he wanted her to be a little bit more tough mentally and go get the ball. We see her coming into the basketball game now. Well, Notre Dame's been pretty physical with her today. He's given her a chance to sit and watch, and we'll see now how she responds after a long time on the bench.
And Stephanie Dolson's 2 made free throws tie the game. Irish have led by as many as 7. Notre Dame was up 16-9 at one point. Beautiful look off the jump shot off the dribble by Kayla Turner, a sophomore. Stealing a putback and a foul. Diggins going for the ball, and she was hit hard underneath.
And a great job by Diggins to come back and kind of a one-person press to get that steal.
Well, the foul's going to go on Notre Dame. It's on Diggins. It's her first, but it's the 17th foul on the Irish. UConn has 6. UConn looking for the cutters. Irish doing a good job, Rebecca, defending the paint.
Notre Dame, a very good defensive team. They'll mix it up, and
Peters blocks it.
it's always helpful when you've got that kind of a presence at the back, because as a guard, if you get beat, you know you've got somebody back there who can bail you out of the situation. That's what happens here. Diggins get beat, it doesn't matter. Devereaux Peters comes over and finishes defensively.
And Brzezinski, one of the co-captains, comes back in, as does the other co-captain, Brittany Mallory, for Notre Dame. And out for UConn, Lauren Dixon goes out. Rhea Hartley in, the freshman guard, who was 2-time New York State Player of the Year. She has the ball. Jump look, steal by Peters. One-on-one break. Diggins. She'll shoot 2. Good defense, so you had a foul.
Rhea Hartley not quite back in position, but a great job with Skylar Diggins. When she gets out in the open floor, she is very good. She can take it to the basket and finish. She's got a nice little floater in the lane as well.
Fantasy baseball players, the award-winning fantasy commissioner is getting even better this offseason. Go to cbssports.com/sneak preview. Sign up for an alert when fantasy baseball launches. Diggins at the free throw line, averages over 13 points a game for Notre Dame. Not a really prolific free throw shooter, as you know, Rebecca, 62%, but she hits those 2 to give the Irish a 4-point lead. Nice dish out by Ferris, but no shot. Brzezinski comes up with the ball. Diggins again, looking to attack. Shooting off the dribble. Away with it is Ferris. And she has a terrific dish inside for 2. Is coming down and scoring the ball is Maya Moore. Has been quiet for a long time.
She was on the bench for an extended period of time. The last couple offensive possessions, she hasn't really looked to go one-on-one, but a nice way to get back into your rhythm by getting an easy layup.
Peters can't get it to go. Rebound down to Novosel, then the long look. Again a rebound by Notre Dame, and Devereaux Peters goes back to the line. She has been the player of this game so far.
She has, and it's so good to see her back to form. I had a chance to watch her before her injuries when she was a freshman. A terrific talent. Has battled those 2 knee injuries, 3 surgeries over the past 2 seasons, and now she's finally back physically and just as important mentally, and doing a great job for Notre Dame.
Doing a particularly great job today. She's leading all scorers as the Irish again extend to a 3-point lead with 9:46 to play. 18 fouls on UConn. 11 points for Devereaux Peters to go with her 6 rebounds.
And Don, what we expected so far, a frenzied game, a fast-paced game. Both teams extending pressure, pushing the ball offensively. But one thing you have to be careful of is when you get such a quick pace going is not to be in a hurry offensively. There's a difference. That time, Rhea Hartley in a little bit of a hurry, so it resulted in the travel. A few possessions ago, we saw a similar situation from Skylar Diggins when she took an early shot early in the possession.
Brzezinski, the only player who won't be back for this Notre Dame team next year, the co-captain from nearby Valparaiso, Indiana. Drive to the basket. And the ball is off UConn. So Notre Dame with a 7-point lead. But then UConn came back, tied it up, and now the Irish with a chance to extend a 3-point lead. Brzezinski, good look at the cutter. And again, Devereaux Peters is on the payoff end for the Irish, who lead by 5.
Notre Dame is a very good high-low team, and they're also great when the ball goes into the low post, as it did to Brzezinski, for Devereaux Peters to cut from the free throw line down to the basket.
Notre Dame is using a lot of cutters, looking to get that low look, and here's a great look by UConn.
Maya Moore, nice job seeing the overplay, using her quickness with a backdoor cut.
Again, a 3-point game, Notre Dame. Brzezinski. Devereaux Peters gets 2 chances at it, but the Huskies come away with the ball. Ferris. Open look for Rhea Hartley, the freshman. Gino Auriemma told us, he said she's going to make a lot of big shots in this game. There's one of them.
She's a big game player. She hit some huge 3-point shots in the Baylor game near the end of the game early in the season that Connecticut won by 1 point.
Diggins, great with the ball in both hands. She can go anywhere she wants it. Now, with her offhand, she's a left-hander. She puts it in with the right hand, and the Irish take a 2-point lead.
As soon as Devereaux Peters saw the double team come, she knew that she would have a teammate open on the opposite block. Great job getting her the ball.
Dolson with a terrific look inside. Second chance. And 6'5" freshman Stephanie Dolson ties the game at 28.
And good patience by Stephanie Dolson. Got the ball, assessed where the defense was, took her time. It's a good use of the dribble, and then able to finish.
Was she a big recruit, Dolson?
Oh, yeah, she was, and out of New York, and she committed her junior year in high school. Christmas Day, she called Coach Auriemma to let him know she was going to be playing for the Huskies.
Well, she tied the game. 7:05 to play in the first half at Notre Dame. There's the game summary. We're tied up. Notre Dame and UConn at 28 all. Down cricket with Rebecca Lobo. The story of this game has been Devereaux Peters of Notre Dame, an often injured senior. 13 points and 8 rebounds. And
she's been outstanding defensively, getting block shots, and then offensively, she's been getting inside, mixing it up, able to finish on the block. She's been done a terrific job passing to her teammates and also getting to the offensive glass. She has been the story. You see there the block shot, adding that extra intimidation factor in the back line of the defense. Devereaux Peters has been just playing a terrific ball game here so far.
Well, Skylar Diggins said that when she's in the lineup, Devereaux Peters, she brings an energy that she really brings to the whole team. She is absolutely a difference maker. Arthur McGraw said when she's in the lineup, we're a different team. And that has been the case today. She has been the dominant player.
And what's gotten Devereaux Peters into trouble at times this season is getting into foul trouble. And she stayed out of foul trouble here so far this game, and that's a big key for Notre Dame.
Irish now looking to break the tie with 7 to go in the first half. Chanwa, the freshman, misses a long one. But Brzezinski, the senior co-captain. Brzezinski now gives Notre Dame a 2-point lead.
Notre Dame's 11th offensive rebound so far in the first half.
Steal by the Irish. UConn gets defenders back. Notre Dame will have to set it up. That's 8 turnovers for the Huskies. Brzezinski puts it back up. Man, this is a war.
And another offensive rebound for Notre Dame. At points early in the first half, Connecticut in a zone. It is more difficult to box out in a zone, but the last few possessions in that man-to-man. So when you play defense, you then have to box out and go get the ball. Notre Dame doing a great job getting those hustle plays, getting those offensive rebounds.
Kelly Ferris just got her first personal foul. And that sends a freshman, Natalie Achanwa, to the free throw line from outside Hamilton, Ontario.
Achanwa's going to be a really nice player for Notre Dame. Already is as a freshman, comes in from playing with the Canadian national team. She played in the World Championships this past summer in the Czech Republic. She's already played against the best player in the world in Lauren Jackson. She's played against Tina Charles. So nice poise for a young player.
Foul on Notre Dame. A quick move to the basket, defended with a foul.
But Notre Dame doing what they need to do in terms of coming out, being physical, being aggressive, getting a body on the Connecticut players. That's how one of the ways you beat Connecticut is to be very physical defensively, and that's what Notre Dame's doing.
Kayla McBride just got her second personal foul for Notre Dame. That sends Tiffany Hayes to the free throw line for UConn. Junior, 81% free throw shooter, a 15.5-point-a-game score, had 22 Wednesday night in the rout of Villanova, 81-35. Villanova coach said afterwards, I was concerned we were going to get shut out in that game.
Yeah, I watched that game. That wasn't a very pretty performance. Connecticut pressed Villanova. Villanova just had all kinds of difficulty scoring.
.6:10 to go in the first half. Back in the game now is Samari Walker. Coming out for UConn, Stephanie Dolson. Pace slowing up a little bit now, running a little bit more plays and sets here. It was just wide open for the first 12 minutes of this game. Ochanwa. Good rebound up court. Moore gets it, driving hard. Bria Hartley, a ditch, and a reject by Peters. Tiffany Hayes tried the shot. And Notre Dame's Devereaux Peters sent it back.
I thought Bria Hartley waited 1 second too long to make that pass. And Tiffany Hayes, if you know Devereaux Peters is on your back, you got to do the shot fake or you're going to get blocked.
1 point lead for the Irish. Huskies. Here comes Devereaux Peters. Puts it out of bounds, back in bounds to UConn. Now Hartley goes out and Lauren Dixon came in, a small senior point guard. She's been terrific though for the Huskies for 4 years with the ball. He was the New York State High School Player of the Year. Springfield Gardens, New York. Maya Moore getting doubled up.
That's a situation where Maya Moore, your senior leader, has to be aware of how much time there is on the shot clock. And that time she wasn't and made the pass. Turnover Connecticut.
Connecticut now with 9 turnovers in the game, Rebecca. Notre Dame with 5.
Uncharacteristic of Connecticut, a team that generally takes good care of the ball. And Natalie Novosel, just such an improved player from her first 2 years, playing with a tremendous amount of confidence.
We asked Natalie yesterday, what's the best way to play UConn? She said, be fearless. A lot of people, when the Huskies walk in the door, are thinking the wrong way. Here now is a rebound down to Skylar Diggins off the missed UConn shot. Almost an over the back by Novosel.
Don, you talk about being fearless. I think that's one of the big things that the Stanford victory over Connecticut did, and that's give so many other teams hope and believe that this team can be beaten. They hadn't been beaten in 90 games. Well, they've been beaten this year, and that's all teams need coming in, is a little bit more confidence, truly believing and knowing that they can beat their opponent.
And of course, Rebecca, Baylor, which is now the #1 team in the country, they really didn't do well at the free throw line and lost to UConn by a single point early in the year.
I'm having so much fun watching Devereaux Peters play today. A post player overcoming the adversity she's overcome, but she's just playing hard, having a lot of fun out there, doing it on both ends of the floor.
Oh, she is really doing it. Scoring the ball, rebounding it, blocking shots. She's been the hub and the reason Notre Dame is up by 1 point. Seanmore tended close, great inside look, and they blow the inside shot. Novosel too much on it. Open look. Always had the danger of coming back and fouling. And Novotel takes it away. Here's Diggins on Dixon. Rebound to Maya Moore. And Lauren Dixon's going to settle this thing down.
And that was smart by Lauren Dixon. The pace was getting a little bit crazy. Turnover last time down the floor. Good veteran play by Dixon to set up the offense.
Great move. Maya Moore, 24-point-a-game scorer. And Connecticut takes the lead by 1. Moore has 8. Leader in the game, Devereaux Peters, 13 points and 8 rebounds for Notre Dame and 3 blocks. UConn has rallied back, down by 7 at one point. The Huskies now lead the Irish 34-33. Notre Dame, as we look at the AT&T in-game analysis, Irish really staying in this with points off turnovers.
And one of the questions was, how physical could both of these teams be? Well, the officials are calling it, and it's pretty close. Both teams getting to the free throw line, but the turnovers have been the story for UConn. In terms of points off the turnovers, they only have 2. Notre Dame doing what they do all season long, 14 points off the turnovers. And Maya Moore, quiet very early. Coach Auriemma sat her on the bench for a few minutes since she's been back in the game, much more effective offensively.
Maya Moore, widely regarded as the best player in the country. Slowly getting her numbers up, 8 points. It's been quite a while on the bench, though. Diggins with the ball. It's hard to press. Connecticut backs off. Good defense by Moore. She rejects the pass of Devereaux Peters. Terrific defense by the Huskies. Moore to Dixon. Diggins is back. 2-on-2, and she pulls it out. And 1. Wow. Continuation. They're going to count the bucket.
And one thing Coach Auriemma has wanted more from Maya Moore her entire career is to get to the free throw line. And since she's come back in the game, we've seen her take it to the basket. Now she's getting to the line for this one, for the and one. Wants her to be more physical. He was talking to us yesterday, Don, about how players, when they're really good jump shooters, they don't try to get to inside because they know they're going to get hit. And why try to get an old-fashioned three-point play when I can just step behind this line and take the three? But he wants more of that from Maya.
Well, she gets to the line. UConn on a 6-0 run, a 7-0 run, and they have their biggest advantage. A game that Notre Dame led earlier by 7. UConn now up by 4 as we're down to 2:50 to play in the half. Diggins drives a tremendous look off the dribble. Back to a 2-point game, Huskies. Again, it's Moore. Up and down. So they're getting that inside game now from Maya Moore.
That's what they want from her. And that time, Becca Bruszewski trying to use her body, prevent Maya Moore from cutting through the lane. But the official decanter calling that a foul, impeding the progress of the offensive player. Maya Moore in that Stanford game got to the free throw line 1 time, and she missed the shot. And in a game of that caliber, Coach Auriemma wants that from his players, get to the free throw line. You saw Becca Bruszewski on the bench now for the last 2.5 minutes of this half because of her 3rd foul, but she's one of the more physical inside players for Notre Dame.
And that is, Rebecca, 3 fouls on Bruszewski. Great look inside, driving to the basket off the lead pass. Skylar Diggins with 12.
And when Devereaux Peters gets the ball, the defender turns her head. That's all she needs. And Skylar Diggins making the nice cut to the basket.
Diggins, a very smooth player. She's deceptively fast. Rebound to Diggins, her 3rd. Sets up the open look. Turner fires. Missed it all. Air ball by Turner. Back over to the Huskies. Up by 2. 1:40 to play in the half. Harris. Muffin McGraw is very unhappy with something going on, the officiating or something. He rarely protests. Ball tipped to side court, off the hand of Notre Dame. Taylor Turner couldn't hold it. Coming up on AT&T at the half, Tracy Wilson and Ann Schatz will get you caught up on the scores and highlights, and Ann will take a mid-season look at what happened this season and what she thinks lies ahead. What's coming up on AT&T at the half. So with 1:18 to go in the half, it's Connecticut 39 and Notre Dame 37. Back at Notre Dame, UConn lost its last road game. They've not lost back-to-back road games in 18 years. And they hold to a 2-point advantage on Notre Dame. Lauren Dixon looking to inbound the ball. Got to hurry. They get her on a violation.
That's got to be frustrating for a coach when you call a timeout so that you can drop a play, and then instead of being able to execute the play, it's a turnover the other way.
So the Irish now down to the Huskies by 2 with a chance to tie or take the lead with a 3. Achanwa, the freshman, great look. Up and down. No, they're going to call it on Notre Dame.
That's the kind of foul that Muffet McGraw is not going to be upset with Peters for getting that over the back call. What frustrates coaches and has frustrated Coach McGraw about Devereaux Peters in the past is she's had some silly fouls, some reach-in kind of fouls. That one was being aggressive. You can definitely live with that as a coach.
And that was her second, Rebecca, for Devereaux Peters. Notre Dame with 10 team fouls. The Huskies with 9. Moore at the line, starting to put up numbers. She's got 15 points on 6 of 12 field goal shooting. The rest of Connecticut, 24 points on 5 of 17 shooting. And that's after she spent about 6 minutes on the bench. Coach Oriema said it'll be a great game right till the end. He knew something, although we're a long way from the end.
UConn and the officials are trying to figure out if Maya Moore is the player who should be on the free throw line. We saw from the replay that, yes, indeed, she is the player that Devereaux Peters pushed. She is the player that should be on the free throw line. You'll see it here. The push. Yep, and that's Maya Moore. They have the correct player on the free throw line, but UConn are doing what she should be doing. That's checking to make sure it's the correct player there.
UConn leading the game because they have been tremendous at the line.
UConn right now 16 of 17 from the free throw line, but right there, that's what they're looking at. Who is the player that should be on the free throw line? Maya Moore is the correct player.
Huskies shooting only 39% from the field, but they're shooting 94% free throws. 16 first half points on free throws. That's a lot, and they've got more coming now. Maya Moore from Lawrenceville, Georgia.
And she gets an extra shot as a result. We saw her take the free throw before, but because DeCanter was trying to step in and figure out if she was the right shooter, they discounted the first free throw, which I believe she missed, and now she gets 2 more.
And she gets them both, and the Huskies take a 4-point lead. 57 seconds to go in the half. Skylar Diggins looking to set the play. UConn defense has denied 3-point looks. Down low, Diggins. Fight for the rebound. Achanwa puts it up and down, the freshman.
Notre Dame has been all over this offensive glass down so far in the first half.
Ball will come back inbounds to the Huskies. with 33 seconds to play.
Muffet McGraw is able to get some good height wearing those heels when she jumps up and down the sideline.
And she can elevate. Chandler, the freshman, 5 points, 4 rebounds. Here comes Diggins. She'll shoot 2. And with 19-9 left to play in the first half, she could tie the game.
Notre Dame that last time defensively in their half-court trap, forcing the turnover. And Notre Dame does so well is mixes up their defenses, whether it's full court, three-quarter court, half court. And it's one of the reasons they force 26 turnovers a game.
Free throws have been the one problem in Diggins' game, but not today. A 62% free throw shooter coming in. But she has been staunch at the line today.
Really talented young player and showing a lot of composure, not only today, but so far in this sophomore season. And it's not easy moving from the shooting guard spot to the point guard spot. She's been very effective doing so.
Connecticut turns it over. And Notre Dame will have a chance now at 15.3 seconds left to get a last shot in the first half. I'm out on the floor at Notre Dame, and once again we're tied now at 41-all. Husky turnovers, Rebecca Lobo, have really enabled Notre Dame to stay in this game.
Connecticut only averages 17 turnovers per game on the year, and they already have 13 in this first half, and it's a direct result of Notre Dame's pressure and Notre Dame's defense.
Irish have scored 16 points off those 13 UConn turnovers. Chandler going to the rack. Diggins up and down, travel violation. So the Huskies now have 1.2 seconds to launch. Who gets the shot?
I don't know if they're going to throw it up.
Kircher percentages from 94 feet. Great first half. Connecticut 41, Notre Dame 41. Now let's go to Tracy Wolfson in New York.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to AT&T at the half. I'm Tracy Wolfson with the score in South Bend, Connecticut, and Notre Dame tied at 41, and I'd like to welcome in Ann Schatz. Now, always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks,
and
Tracy.
Notre Dame studied that Stanford tape real hard. Your thoughts on that first half?
Well, I think what Notre Dame is really showing us is if you play physical against UConn, if you've got the personnel to do it, if you've got the mindset to do it and the guts to do it, and play physical with this UConn club, you've got action.
Can't wait for the second half. But let's get you caught up on today's other action with the new #1 team in the country. Baylor hosting number 17, Iowa State. Baylor's Brittany Griner and the Lady Bears. And this one was all Griner. She gets inside and the foul, 16 zip early.
You know, Kim Mulkey has said, we like this #1 ranking, Tracy. We're just fine with it. I'd be fine with it, too, if I had Brittany Griner on my club. Spearing a 17-3 run. Griner so tough inside, 25 big points, and Baylor pulls away.
That's right, 70-58, the final. Coming up next in a game 2 of our doubleheader, a Big Ten battle between number 20 Ohio State and number 21 Iowa. And Ann, who do you see in this one in terms of players to keep an eye on?
Well, if you're Ohio State, you got to start with Jantel Lavender, one of the best bigs in the country, no doubt about it. And she is the player that has to spark Ohio State. They had a terrible December, and Lavender wasn't tough enough. She's got to really turn that around in a big game today. And if I'm Iowa, I'm saying take a look at my big gun, Kachine Alexander. They call her Cash, and she's been cashing it in. Now, known for her great rebounding, Tracy, but her all-around game has really taken a step up because she is more of a scoring threat, and Iowa has been paying dividends because of that.
Really looking forward to that one. Okay, now that the UConn streak is over and we can put it in perspective a little bit, and in spite of this first half, is this the best team ever in women's college basketball?
Not even close. I mean, with all due respect to this UConn bunch, I'm going to go back to 2002, the UConn Huskies with an absolute loaded lineup. Sue Bird. How about her wingman, Diana Taurasi? And then you throw in a Swin Cash, you throw in a Tamika Williams, and then, of course, you throw in the hardware. And, yeah, perfect again, 2002 national champs. That's my team.
Well, right now, it doesn't seem like the loss to Stanford had any benefit bit for UConn. They seem like they're in a bit of a funk.
I like the way you're putting that. I couldn't agree more. I think UConn is still showing the effects of that Stanford loss, no doubt about it. But I also think that UConn is the kind of team, if they can come out in this second half and show their physical mettle, they'll be okay.
Well, first they have to get through this one.
Yes.
But do you see them losing any more games this season?
Yeah, I think it's possible because of the fact that this season is absolutely wide open for 6, 7, maybe even 8 teams. And you look at UConn's upcoming schedule. Duke is going to give them fits, even in the Huskies' backyard. And I think going to Morgantown against number 6 West Virginia, look out for that team as well.
That's a tough road ahead. And although they might not be showing it today, you still think UConn is the most dominant team in women's college basketball, right? Well, is the Big East the most dominant conference?
Well, we've been going back and forth with that kind of rationale, with the Big 12 saying, hey, what about us? And I'm going to give the nod to the Big 12 this year one more time, slightly over the Big East. ACC is where they should be, but hey, Tracy, I love the resurgence of the Big 10. They've got some clubs in the bottom of that conference really stepping up, and that's why I put them in the number 4 slot.
So really, in your opinion, the once mighty SEC is now the 6th best conference?
I knew you were going to call me on this. I knew she was going to call me on this. And yeah, I think the SEC has some room to improve. You've got LSU that's struggling no matter what. And you've got a Georgia team and a Vandy team. They've got to start playing better and pull some more weight in that very fine conference.
Well, we see the current top 10 here, and is there a chance of any other team sneaking in and making a run to the Final Four?
Well, Mike Carey's West Virginia club is a fine one at number 6, but number 7 is my cutoff line, if you will. Texas A&M, Gary Blair's team. I really think this team could make it all the way to the Final Four, but nobody, with all due respect, after that.
Well, Ann will give us her mid-season picks on Player and Coach of the Year, as well as her thoughts on who will make it to the Final Four at halftime of the Ohio State-Iowa game.
At the half, the Huskies and the Irish are tied at 41. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA women's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here. Sears, it's your turn to save at Sears. And by AT&T, rethink possible. We are tied at the half. The Huskies and the Irish at 41 all. Don Crickey with Rebecca Lobo. The Irish, with a very aggressive defense, have forced 13 first-half turnovers, Rebecca, by the Huskies. Again, 16 points off it.
And then that's how Notre Dame makes its living, is by forcing teams into turnovers. They're number 1 in the country in steals, and that's what they did to Connecticut, just forcing. First, you see a good defense and a travel by Maya Moore. Block shots, get out in transition. They force passes, get into passing lanes. But that's what Notre Dame does. They turn their defense into offense, and they've been very effective at that so far in this first half with those 16 points off turnovers.
And now, Rebecca, let's take a look at the Powerade complete breakdown of the first half.
And the equalizer for Connecticut has been the free throws. They've gotten to the free throw line. But Connecticut's worked a little bit harder for their points on the offensive end. They've had to execute, whereas, as we mentioned, Notre Dame's been able to get out a lot in transition.
Huskies doing very well at the free throw line. You see 18 of 19. And the Irish 12 of 14. Huskies shooting almost 95% from the line. Irish 84%, both great numbers. But you get a feeling something's going to be in the air at the final horn, Rebecca, to decide this thing, or maybe we'll go overtime.
In the first half for Notre Dame, Devereaux Peters was the one giving Coach Auriemma the headache, and also Skylar Diggins. They were both very effective offensively and defensively those first 20 minutes. Connecticut starting out here in a man-to-man to start the second half.
Novosel. Block. She'll shoot.
Not only Novosel, Notre Dame's leading scorer, had a quiet first half, only got 4 shots up, so gets the ball early in the second half, and this is what she does so well. She's very good going to the basket, taking contact, and keeping her balance, oftentimes finishing for a three-point play.
Novosel has a twin brother, Nathan, who plays at the University of Rochester, and that's her off-season workout partner. He's 6'5".
Yeah, she gets to get good work playing against him one-on-one. I'm sure he toughens her up a little bit, too. Notre Dame picking up in the full-court pressure.
Great drive by Ferris, and she'll shoot two. Taking it end to end. Martha McGraw said of this Notre Dame team, they like to play defense. I haven't had that before.
Yeah, it takes a special player to enjoy defense. We all like shooting, but to get out there and really get after it defensively, and that's apparent for this team because they work so hard for the full 40 minutes.
Chanwa, the freshman, got her second foul, fouling Ferris. Well, as Gino Auriemma likes to say, every player wants to work on what they do best. He said he wants somebody to come in and say, you know, Coach, I'm not taking enough charges. I want to work on that. 8 points now for Ferris. 6 of them at the line.
Connecticut also extending their full court pressure. We saw them do that in bursts in the first half.
Mallory almost loses it. Here is Diggins. Foul on UConn. No. A player control foul, and the ball turns back over to the Huskies.
I thought that was a good call. The defender was set. Diggins was a little bit out of control, going to the basket, trying to make something happen.
And that's her second, Skylar Diggins. So Notre Dame keeping the pressure on. Coming out in this first half minute of a tie game. Full court. Ferris with the ball, who led her high school team Heritage outside of Indianapolis to 4 straight Indiana State championships. Getting an open look. Only the second 3 of this day for UConn. Notre Dame only has 1.
Kelly Ferris only a 22% three-point shooter, but Coach Auriemma wants her to continue to take that shot, make the defense come out and defend her.
And here is a steal by Hartley. Up court to Ferris. Too much on it. Back to the Irish. Down to the Huskies by 3.
Coach Auriemma just looking at Kelly Ferris and saying, slow down, slow down. In that position, you can always pull it out and set up your offense.
Bad pass by Diggins. Intercepted nicely. Taking the ball away is Tiffany Hayes. It looks, Rebecca, like the Huskies are looking to take more threes. They're taking them. Here comes Diggins, 2-on-1. Lead.
Well, I doubt they went in the locker room and Coach Auriemma said, let's take more open jump shots. He was telling us last night that his team sometimes relies too much on the jump shot, relies too much on taking the outside 3. He wants them to get into the lane, where Notre Dame is so good when they get out in transition, getting to the free throw line as a result. And it starts with their backcourt. Skylar Diggins off to Natalie Novosel.
The foul was on Bria Hartley.
We talk about Novosel playing against her brother this summer. Well, that was one of the things that helped her improve, but it's staggering. Looking at the points per game from 5 to 15, and granted she's getting a lot more minutes. McGraw met with her at the end of last season and said, next year you will be one of our top 2 scorers. She has that potential and has really improved her outside shooting, especially from the three-point line.
Great passing by Ferris, sets up an open 3 look. The shot doesn't go, and there's going to be a pushing foul inside against UConn. Ball's back to Notre Dame. John Wooden, the great UCLA coach and a basketball legend in Indiana. He was one of the greatest players at Martinsville and also as an All-American at Purdue. When their 88-game winning streak, UCLA's ended here at Notre Dame, they asked Wooden how long he thought it would take to do it again. He said, I know it'll take at least 3 years. I became a coach here, coaching South Bend Central High School, John Wooden.
Now with the number of games these women play, you know it's going to take at least 2.5 years for the UConn streak to be broken.
Well, Gino says he doesn't think the open unbeaten streaks are going to continue. He thinks it's over.
With the conference, playing in the Big East Conference, with the schedule that they play, and just the way women's basketball has evolved, the way the players and the talent has evolved, and more good players going to different schools, I can't see Connecticut's 90-game streak being broken at all, and that's a huge blow for Connecticut as you see Tiffany Hayes go to the bench with her 4th foul.
Boy, that's expensive, losing Hayes with 4 on the bench for the moment. 1-point game. UConn has the lead and the ball. Ferris looking to drive the zone. She gets the look. Achanwa, the freshman, rebounds and is fouled.
Kelly Ferris got a look, but it wasn't a good look because she had the long arm of the law, and Devereaux Peters coming out to contest that shot.
Achanwa at 6'3". She's going to be really good. Dolson gets the personal foul. It is her third. Good double on the ball. Mallory, bad pass, good defense. Here come the Huskies. Moore, what a great play.
So strong to the basket, caught the ball, one hard dribble on the floor, making the defense change direction. Great finish, Maya Moore.
Achanwa kicks it out. There's been quiet for a while. Peters at 13 points.
I'd like to see her get a little bit more involved offensively for Notre Dame, getting some touches on the block. She made great passes and was able to finish early on in this game.
Terrific pass by Ferris. Shot doesn't go. For the big center, Stephanie Dolson.
And Dolson had time. She had the size advantage. She could have landed, collected herself, and then finished the shot instead of trying to do catch and shoot all in one motion. That comes with her youth. She's going to learn those things as she gets more experience.
She's a freshman. Drive to the basket. Diggins doesn't get it to go. Ferris down court. Ball knocked away. Picked up by the Irish. Novosel. Open look. Doesn't go. And the Irish keep it.
Connecticut got out-hustled by Skylar Diggins on that possession. She went in and got her hand on the ball, and Mallory ends up with it.
Irish come into the game having won 8 straight, but they've lost 9 straight to UConn. Achanwa, lid on the hoop. Foul on Connecticut.
Great hustle by Achanwa. The first shot she threw up, you know, she was just looking for the foul. She wasn't under control, wasn't a good shot, but then she gets a second and third look at it. Right there, that's the crazy shot, but Achanwa gets another look, stays with it, goes after it. Finally gets herself to the free throw line, but we've seen this for much of the game for Notre Dame. They're just doing a terrific job attacking the offensive glass.
And Bria Hartley just got her third personal foul for the Huskies. Achanwa at the line, the freshman from Guelph, Ontario, Canada. 6 points, 8 rebounds. One-point game, UConn. Here's senior Lauren Dixon. Looking at Gina Oriema, gets the play call. Running a set, Notre Dame hard on the ball. Ferris. At some point, it's either a foul or you're traveling. And it's called a travel. 15:51 to play in the game. Connecticut leads Notre Dame 48-47. Tomorrow, the NFL on CBS rolls out the AFC wildcard when Ray Lewis and the Ravens take on Matt Castle and the Chiefs. It all begins with a special playoff edition of the NFL Today. Who's going to run the ball best in this game? Baltimore, great run defense. Kansas City, the best rush offense. But these games, Rebecca, usually turn on a variable. All 4 of them probably will. That you don't know going in. Who wins the turnover count?
I'm looking forward to watching Ray Rice out there running the ball for Baltimore. Former Rutgers standout who was a big women's basketball fan when he was there.
And of course, the Chiefs with those 2 great runners, Charles and Jones. Now, a high arcing jump shot is up and down for the Irish, and they've taken back the lead by a point.
Second half, both of these teams have suffered through some turnovers, and the coaches just want them to slow down, get in their half-court sets, and make things happen.
We're tied at the half, 41 all. A lot of ball movement, a lot of defense by the Irish. I'll tell you, this is terrific basketball. Right now, Diggins dishes, Peters lays it in. and the Irish come back with a 3-point advantage. "15 points for Devereaux Peters, but her first in a long time. She had 13 early in the game. Purcell Pavilion sold out long ago for this game, and it's loud. Notre Dame on a 6-0 run. Inbounds to the Huskies.
Notre Dame off of a turnover and a rebound and able to get out. Great job by Devereaux Peters to run the floor. Skylar Diggins recognizing she has her 6'4" post player trailing the play. Great finish.
Now the Huskies looking to get inside. Notre Dame, for the most part, keeping them out.
9 seconds on the shot clock. Does Connecticut recognize that?
Notre Dame has 18 offensive rebounds in this game. The Huskies have 10. Krzyzewski rebounds. And Diggins is tripped inadvertently by Maya Moore. Although the crowd, I don't know if they think it's inadvertent.
It's Maya Moore's 3rd personal foul. This game has been back and forth, very exciting, close the whole way, and these are two of the top teams in the Big East and giving us what we expected this afternoon. Maya Moore running back, and she just needed to keep going the other way, got her feet tangled up with Skylar Diggins.
Diggins, 15 points and 4 rebounds. Irish looking to hit the free throw and extend to an 8-0 run. Diggins very under control. Her coach, Muffin McGraw, talks about she's such an emotional player. And in the last 2 games against Connecticut, she had very poor shooting numbers, but not today. She's been stalwart. Now the rebound beautifully taken down by Moore. Kelly Ferris looking to put it up. Not quite enough. Peters rebounds. Irish run, 3-on-1. Krzyzewski. And the Irish get a standing ovation with a 7-point lead. CBS Sports coverage of NCAA women's basketball will continue after this message and a word from your local station. Don Criqui with Rebecca Lobo back at Notre Dame. The Irish on a 10-0 run. 7-point advantage now, Rebecca, matches their biggest early in the game.
And Notre Dame did it by tightening things up defensively, and when they did, got the steals, got out in transition, were able to get some easy looks at the basket, got those easy layups.
Look at that. The Huskies have not lost back-to-back road games in 18 years. They lost a week ago in their previous road game at Stanford. The game that ended the winning streak at 90 consecutive victories.
Coach Oriama said after that Stanford game, you lose games when you don't play well and you're on a good team's home floor. And that's the situation here today. They're playing a very good Notre Dame team and a sold-out, great crowd. And Notre Dame defensively has been able to take Connecticut out of a lot of things that they want to do offensively.
Yeah, Gino told us last night, he said this Notre Dame team is a lot physically tougher than teams of the past. He said it'll be a great game, and he was right. Still a long way to go. UConn now outscored on a 10-0 Notre Dame run, falls behind by 7. Ferris, good look down low, out to Dolson. Back out to the freshman Hartley. And a nice-looking ball combination and a jump shot. It's a 5-point game, Irish.
And Notre Dame was in a matchup zone defensively, and against a matchup zone, you need to move the ball around. That's what Connecticut did. That's why they were able to get the open shot from Bria Hartley.
And that, Rebecca, was the first field goal for the Huskies in over 4 minutes.
Samari Walker, nice defensive play and steal on the other end.
Ferris can't get to the lead pass. The remarkable thing also about the Connecticut win streak, the 90-game win streak, the average margin of victory was over 33 points a game. They were rarely challenged.
It's a much different Connecticut team this year. Coach Ryan was talking about that yesterday. You see the block from Stephanie Dolson.
Great block by Dolson. And Ferris on a breakaway layup. And the Huskies are back to within 3.
This is a very different Connecticut team this year than the one he had last year. They lost Tina Charles, the National Player of the Year. Kalena Green, a 5th-year senior. Caroline Doty is over on the sideline with a knee injury.
Rims out. Dolson rebounds again. Freshman's a strong presence underneath. Moore drives the basket. Rebound down to Dolson. But then an errant pass, and Notre Dame takes over the ball. So with 11:43 to play in regulation, it's the Irish over the Huskies by 3. CBS Sports college basketball coverage is sponsored by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. Notre Dame up on Connecticut 55-52. Tomorrow on a new CSI Miami. When you're online, it's hard to tell who's the predator and who's the prey. A new CSI Miami at a special time after 60 minutes. Tomorrow, only CBS. In this game, there's been 6 ties and 8 lead changes. Right now, the Irish holding to a 3-point lead. Leading scorer in the game is the Player of the Year, Maya Moore. Maya has 19 for the Huskies. Notre Dame's leader, Devereaux Peters, she's got 16, and Diggins has 15.
Notre Dame right now with 12 more field goal attempts than Connecticut because of the 18 turnovers by UConn.
Irish level take it deep into the shot clock, looking to get something open. Unrelenting defense. Great defense by the Huskies. They take it away. Here comes Bria Hartley. Up court to Moore. UConn can get it to within 1 or tie it up with a 3. Ferris ties it up.
That's been her spot. That's the second 3 she's hit from there in the second half.
So the Irish with a 7-point lead. It's quickly gone. Now a fight for the ball, and a timeout is called wisely as she fought back to get the ball. Getting the ball back for Notre Dame was Mallory. UConn has rallied back to tie the game at 55 all. UConn has turned the ball over a lot today, 18 times, as you mentioned, Rebecca, and that's led to 20 Notre Dame points.
That's because of Notre Dame's pressure defense. Whether it's the half court or the full court, they get after you defensively. They've gotten a lot of points as a result from those Connecticut turnovers.
UConn right now on a 7-0 run in the last 2:17. They go from 55-48 down to this tie. Mallory defended by Maya Moore. Diggins. Inside dish. Nicely done. Irish lead by 2.
Connecticut sitting back in his zone. A good job by Skylar Diggins to recognize that, get the dribble penetration in the dish for 2 points.
Now the Huskies come down. A driving shot by Maya Moore ties the game.
We saw that stretch in the first half, Don, where Coach Auriemma pulled Maya Moore out of the game. He sat her down for about 4 or 5 minutes. She watched what was going on. Since she's come back in the game, she's had the mindset when she gets the ball to take it to the basket. She's done that much more effectively since he put her on the bench.
She has. She's up to point. The whole game is picked up. Let her watch it while she came in really to deliver. Long ball, rebounded, a second chance, up and down. Well done. McBride brings it up and down.
That shot went up from Skylar Diggins. A lot of watching from the Connecticut players instead of going to box out the Notre Dame player. That's one of the reasons Notre Dame was able to get that offensive board.
Back the other way and down hard is Maya Moore. Looks like a foul on Notre Dame. Kayla McBride, who just scored the previous game to give the shot to give Notre Dame the lead, is a high school All-American from Erie, Pennsylvania. At her high school, 2 state championships, Pennsylvania Player of the Year. And here is at the free throw line, Maya Moore, who's everybody's Player of the Year. 21 points now, Rebecca, and 8 rebounds.
It's kind of lucky to get to the free throw line on that one. We have the benefit of the replay, but it didn't look like Mallory got much of Maya Moore. It looked like just Maya kind of fell down.
She gets them both. She's almost up to her 24-point-a-game average, Maya Moore. She scored 23 today. And again, we're tied. Here's McBride, the freshman. Very skilled. Open look. Mallory bangs it. 3-point lead for Notre Dame.
If Mallory has time to set her feet and get the shot off, she is a very good 3-point shooter. That possession, she had the time.
The senior from Baltimore, Maryland. Here's a driving shot by Ferris, and a whistle stops play. It'll be a foul on Notre Dame.
Look at all the time that Mallory has. Her feet set, squares up, and gets that shot off. Kelly Ferris tries to close out, but just not there nearly in time. And for Connecticut, they've played much of this second half without Tiffany Hayes in the game because she picked up her 4th foul. She's Connecticut's 2nd leading scorer, but Kelly Ferris here at the free throw line just really stepped up offensively, hit those 3-point shots that we saw, now getting to the free throw line. 2nd in points so far tonight for Connecticut.
And she's having a great game, a former Indiana high school Player of the Year who was down in the recruiting to Notre Dame and UConn. $18 points for Ferris, who averages less than 8 a game. And the Irish throw it away. The freshman McBride. So UConn, down by 1, has a chance to take back the lead.
We talked early in this game how important it was going to be in terms of the whistles that the officials blew. It's been a very physical game. There have been a lot of whistles, and you see it on both sides. But Connecticut doesn't have the depth that Notre Dame has, so it really hurts them when they get players in that kind of foul trouble.
Moore will double her up, deny the lane. Ball fake, sets up Dolson with a pass. Rebound to McBride. Lead to Novosel. Terrific play to the basket. Irish by 3. Ten points now for Novosel.
Connecticut got lucky on that possession that the ball just went off the Notre Dame player's feet.
Kelly Ferris leaves the floor, probably not for long though, the way she's playing. Here's Dolson. Maya Moore looking for a place to drive it. She's been going to the basket a lot more today than usual. Moore, long ball, on time. And the Huskies tie the game again.
And there's nothing you can do defensively to limit Maya Moore, prevent Maya Moore from taking that shot. She just can elevate over any defender, get a good look at the basket.
She is a catch-and-shoot specialist, and she does it fast. 26 points now for Moore. McBride. Called for a travel. There's a timeout. Maya Moore doing her stuff. The long ball. The game summary at Notre Dame. Tie score again, 64-all. Field goal percentage shooting. Notre Dame well under their nation-leading 50.4% field goal shooting as a team. But the Irish are capitalizing Rebecca Lobo on turnovers.
They've made up for it in the hustle areas, the points off turnovers and the second chance points. Notre Dame with 19 offensive rebounds in this game. They've just gone after it on the offensive end.
Still a 7:41 to play. Novosel, who's rebounded very well in the second half, the freshman, back in the game. And the shortest of the Husky players, 5'4", Lauren Dixon, running the point. Moore. Boy, you cannot defend it.
But when she gets hot from the outside, forget about it. I mean, she does not need any time. As soon as the ball's in her hands, she's got it up, ready to release.
Catch and shoot. She's ready to unload as soon as it touches her hands. So the Huskies take a 3-point lead. Peters can't get it to go. Fight for the rebound. Tiffany Hayes comes up with it. Lead to Dixon. That time Moore can't hit the three. And the Irish come back down by 3 on their home floor. Great look inside from Novosel. Dish to Devereaux Peters. 1-point game.
Crowd's gotten a little bit quiet. Notre Dame just needs that one defensive stop, fast break, get this crowd alive again.
A very important performer is the native Hoosier back home again in Indiana. Kelly Ferris, 18 points and 9 rebounds, way above her average.
I think Coach Auriemma called that timeout, frustrated with what happened defensively on the other end of the floor, a defensive breakdown.
Coming up next, it's a Big Ten bash as Ohio State takes on the Iowa Hawkeyes in NCAA women's hoops, right here on CBS Sports.
Ohio State has Jantel Lavender, one of the best centers in the country inside. Samantha Verhalis, the point guard on the outside. And they had a stretch where they struggled, lost 3 games in a row. And it started with a loss to Connecticut at Madison Square Garden, but since rebounded, won their last 2. And that'll be an exciting matchup out in the Big Ten.
Active scoring leaders, Moore and Lavender. Maya Moore going over 2,500 career points today for UConn. She might be a long way from done today. She's having a great day after some time on the bench. Ferris. Moore fights for the rebound, stepped on the baseline. Ball to the Irish.
Coach Auriemma looking at Kelly Ferris that time and saying, just shoot it. You know, don't worry about getting inside and getting a layup. Just look for your shot when it's open.
Irish looking to take back the lead. Here is Brzezinski. He gets the roll. Irish lead by 1. Maya Moore, Rebecca, has 29 points now, and she's had the last 6 for the Huskies.
Well, she's going to be the key for Connecticut, and last possession by Notre Dame. Nice screen and roll finish by Brzezinski.
Six minutes left. Too much. Novosel inside court. Ball will come back inbounds to Notre Dame. 10 ties, 10 lead changes. Notre Dame led by 7 twice. Brzezinski up and down, the senior co-captain.
Becca Brzezinski gives away a lot of inches to Stephanie Dolson, so what do? You go to the hook shot, because when you have a much bigger defender on you, that's the shot that won't get blocked.
Now Notre Dame on a 6-0 run to come back and take the lead. Look, the reject by Peters. These women are amped. They're waiting to play this one. Huskies will bring in the ball. Down by 3. Dolson really, she's not really looking to shoot unless something's wide open underneath. Moore loses the ball. So the Irish on a 6-0 run with a 3-point lead and 5:02 to play in the game. In regulation. That was the 19th UConn turnover.
Freshman Kaden McBride was right there defensively on Maya Moore.
Ball off the hand of Devereaux Peters. And the Huskies will inbound the ball. Moore with 29 points in the game. He has scored the last 6, but has been quiet for a while. Huskies have not scored in the last almost 3 minutes. Hustle wins the ball for Ferris. Rejected by Brzezinski. Diggins leads a 3-on-2 break. Novosel on great team basketball. And with 4:20 to go, the Huskies are down by 5, and they want a timeout.
Notre Dame gets so much offense from their defense, doing it again. This time it's Brzezinski with the block. Get out in transition. Skylar Diggins does what you're supposed to do in transition. She gets in the 3-on-2, makes the defense make a decision, and then they get the layup and finish. Coming down, what do? You've got the numbers 3-on-2, bring the ball to the middle of the floor. The defense commits, then Diggins drops the ball to Novosel for the finish.
So 4:19 left to play now. Winter storm alert, and it came to fruition. It turned into a winter storm emergency in northern Indiana, but the Purcell Pavilion is sold out. Look at that. UConn won last 34 games in January. Notre Dame, though, Rebecca, now on an 8-0 run in the last 2.5 minutes.
And they've done it with their defense. A couple misses by Maya Moore and rebounds going the other way for Notre Dame.
Hartley has the ball tipped away, and there's going to be a call, reach-in foul. Looks like Diggins is going to get it. She gets her third. 5 team fouls on Notre Dame, 7 on Connecticut. Moore bumped. Resets. Dolson. Terrific inside look to the center for Connecticut. And the Huskies back to within 3 now with 3:35 to play.
Notre Dame's defense was swarming on that last possession, but Dolson able to get free for a second. Nice pass. Good job by Dolson to collect herself and finish.
Novosel misses the pull-up jumper. Ferris. Hayes gets a look and a shot. It's a 1-point game, Notre Dame. Muffin McGraw, the Notre Dame coach, signaling out to her point guard, Skylar Diggins, the play she wants. Becca Brzezinski. She's the play. Good defense by the Huskies. And now they have a chance to take back the lead.
Great defense by Dolson, moving her feet, staying between herself and Brzezinski. She's got the height advantage. Good job to stay on the floor, not get a foul.
Rhea Hardley off her foot, back to Notre Dame. So with 2:32 left to play, Notre Dame 72, Connecticut 71. With former National Player of the Year Rebecca Lobo of Connecticut fame, this is Don Criqui back at Notre Dame to see the game reset. The Huskies, Rebecca, only one timeout remaining.
The possession arrow in Connecticut's favor, that could be huge coming down these last couple of minutes.
Notre Dame by 1 in January of 05. 6 years ago, Notre Dame defeated Connecticut at Stores 65-59, and that ended UConn's 112-game home court win streak against Big East opponents. Connecticut's beaten Notre Dame 9 straight. Huskies hawking the ball. Here's Diggins. Not enough on it. Rebound to Novosel. Up and down. And one.
Don, that's been the story of the game for Notre Dame, is just their tenacity on the offensive glass. Devereaux Peters gets a good look at it, but misses. Doesn't matter. Novosel right there and gets the and one. Notre Dame all afternoon has been all over the offensive rebounds.
Novosel misses the free throw. Rebound into the Irish throw.
Same situation. Devereaux Peters gets in there, mixes it up with Maya Moore. Result, Notre Dame possession.
The last foul was on Maya Moore. She has 4. The sure-handed sophomore, Skylar Diggins, a first-team high school All-American out of Washington High School, the west side of South Bend. He has an unbelievable foul here. Look at her drive and look at the reject. Great D by the Huskies. Here they come, down by 3.
The best players make the big plays in key moments, and Maya Moore, Connecticut's best player.
Well, that's what Gino said to us. He said the reason we had that long win streak, our best players were absolutely at their best in the biggest games against the ranked teams. Dolson looking for somebody to pass to. Ferris back to Dolson. Shot clock down to 3. Hayes up, around, and in. And it's a 1-point game, Notre Dame. Game clock down to 1:05 to play. Novosel. Rebound to Peters. Rebound to Ferris. Foul on Notre Dame.
Peters down. It looked like she got hit in the face at some point on the last possession.
Diggins got the last foul that was called. Oh, that was her 4th.
Connecticut coming down the other way. The one thing you want to get out of this possession is at least one touch by Maya Moore. Let Maya Moore make the decision of what your team is going to do offensively.
And I'm going to bet that's where the ball goes, right? Because you know Maya Moore. Connecticut leads 75-74. And now one of the biggest shots of their careers coming up for somebody on Notre Dame. Down by 1 with 44.9 to go. 31 points for Maya Moore.
The ball ends up in Maya Moore's hands by accident, but it doesn't matter how it gets there. Maya Moore has always played big for Connecticut in their big moments. Struggled in the game against Stanford, but when Connecticut's needed a bucket here this afternoon, she's come through for them.
Coming up, it's Big Ten Bash as Ohio State takes on the Iowa Hawkeyes in NCAA women's hoops. Right here on CBS Sports.
Muffet McGraw's had a lot of options offensively here in this game. Devereaux Peters has played well, Skylar Diggins, Natalie Novosel, but in this situation, your guards make the decision. Skylar Diggins, let her try to penetrate to the basket, either finish, which she's very good at, get the ball out to Novosel for a shot, dish off to Devereaux Peters. A lot of options for this Notre Dame team, but it's important, much like on the other end for Connecticut. Notre Dame wants Skylar Diggins to be the one making this decision and making this play.
Skylar Diggins is the sure-handed sophomore point guard there. She is number 4. She got a national award as the high school athlete of the year. Pretty big honor because among the others who've won it, LeBron James. And there's Krzyzewski. So a huge shot coming up now and a huge defensive set for the Huskies.
Connecticut comes out showing a zone.
Lead, reject. Nicely done by the center, the freshman center, Stephanie Dolson.
Now Connecticut will switch it up and go into man-to-man defense for the last 15 seconds of the shot clock.
Irish with the ball, Huskies by 1, 15 on the shot clock. Novacell, man, Irish take the lead. The whistle stops play. What's this, Rebecca?
I have no idea. Connecticut inbounded the ball. It must be a timing issue. The problem with this is it allows Notre Dame to set up in the full court pressure. Connecticut got the quick inbound. Great finish by Novacell. So good at that. Connecticut quickly inbounded the ball. Didn't have to deal with the pressure, but because of the clock issue, now Notre Dame picking up in the full court pressure.
The 30-second shot clock starts up. Will they take it all the way down? Down by 1. Bria Hartley, two-time New York State Player of the Year, and now Gino Auriemma wants to talk this over with 19.4 left.
Uses his last timeout, especially with a freshman point guard. Wants to make sure he sets up the play, make sure she knows where to get the ball, and I think everyone in this arena knows where he wants the ball, and that's going to be with Maya Moore.
Well, she's having a great day, Rebecca. As you know, 31 points on 11 of 21 field goal shooting. She's hit all 7 free throws. Maya Moore. Novacell has 14 points in the second half for Notre Dame. 16 for the game. It's a busy building tonight. The Notre Dame men against the Rising St. John's team tonight here. Both those teams off to great starts this year. UConn will have the ball, 19 on the shot clock, 19.4 on the game clock. Notre Dame leading by 1. UConn has not lost back-to-back road games in 18 years, or almost. They lost their last one. The shot heard around the world. Stanford beat them to end the 90-game win streak. Now, how does Notre Dame play defense, Rebecca?
Continue to do what they've been doing. Just play hard-nosed defense. Understand that Maya Moore is going to want to get the ball in her hands. You got to try to deny as much as you can. If she gets it, she's shown that she can elevate over one defender. You probably have to run a second defender at her if she gets the ball out on the perimeter.
You got to think they want to drive her, get her to the line. The shot doesn't go. Bria Hartley, the freshman. Ferris up and down. Connecticut by 1.
Great play call. Ran Maya Moore as the decoy, knowing the defense would help.
Skylar Diggins. Game clock down to 8. Diggins shoots. Doesn't go. Connecticut rebounds. And Dolson is fouled. A tremendous play call by the Huskies. Notre Dame had Maya Moore doubled.
They ran Maya Moore off of a screen, knowing the help defender was going to have to hedge. As a result, Kelly Ferris goes to the basket. That's the play they drew up. A great play and a nice finish by Ferris. And going the other direction, Muffin McGraw opts not to call the timeout. That's the kind of confidence she has in Skylar Diggins, who got a good look at the basket.
She did. Didn't go down. So Connecticut will be going to the free throw line, a 1-on-1 chance. And 3 seconds on the clock. If Connecticut hits them both, Notre Dame has to hope for a prayer dance on a launch.
Again, there's the play. Perfect pass by Bria Hartley. Mishandled a little bit by Kelly Ferris, but able to finish. And Notre Dame came down the other way and got a good look at it. And right now, for Connecticut, Stephanie Dolson is at the free throw line. She is a terrific free throw shooter, 19 of 21 on the season, but she's a freshman. And sometimes these moments can get to the younger players.
Tremendous game also, Rebecca, by Kelly Ferris. He's been just outstanding. UConn by 2, 3 seconds left. Now Notre Dame's got to launch a three and hope that they hit something long distance. The ball is tipped away. 2.5 seconds left. Inbounds to the Irish. Connecticut wise to foul here.
See, I don't know about that theory because you put them at the free throw line, and especially the way Notre Dame's been offensive rebounding the ball, they would have a chance to make that first free throw and miss the second and get the offensive rebound. And the other thing you have to be wary of, Don, is you've got a young team, and you can't necessarily trust them. As soon as a Notre Dame player gets the ball, if they get into a shooting motion from half court even, it's a three-point, it's to be 3 free throws.
Well, Notre Dame, if they should hit a miraculous three, it would send the game to overtime. But UConn, the lead has gone back and forth. There have been ties. And finally, UConn, in the end, goes to its All-American, Maya Moore, who delivers the goods in the second half. Phenomenal game. Again, 31 points. Dolson will guard the inbounder, Brzezinski. 2.5 left. Higgins, 3 points, no good. UConn wins. Notre Dame was up 72-67. The Huskies finished with a 12-4 run to end the game, and they beat Notre Dame 79-76. For Rebecca Lodwell, this is Don Quickie saying so long from Notre Dame. Coming up next, it's game 2 of our doubleheader. Ohio State against Iowa. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports.